Good morning, love. I pray all is well today. I have a question for you. Do you constantly work on your talents, your gifting, your skill sets, and things that others constantly tell you you're phenomenal at? How do you perfect those skills that are ultimately your giftings before you go to battle? Do you sit back and wait until you get a phone call saying, hey, we need you to do this before you actually rehearse the song? Or, hey, are you a great motivational speaker? We want you to come and speak. And you get up and rehearse the day of or the day before? Or do you put in a time to perfect your skill long before you receive the call? I'm often reminded of King David, who was the second king of Israel back in Bible days. And I think of how David perfected his skill well before he was called. He was constantly out in the pasture taking care of sheep, but practicing with his slingshot. He was also found writing a lot of psalms, which continued throughout his life. So he was an avid poet who poured out his heart to God in that skill set, which ultimately became his gifting. He's touched a lot of lives even through today with that gifting. He was often found practicing his craft of playing the stringed instrument, or as we call it, the guitar nowadays, and writing music. If you look in the book of Psalms, you'll see a lot of his handiwork. But one thing remains constant. David showed up for the battle ready to go. Do you think he waited until he stood in front of Goliath to practice with his slingshot? Nah, he had that down. Do you think, in modern day terms, someone like Michael Jordan waited until the day before the big game to pull out a basketball and practice? Do you think that awesome people like Joe Montana didn't throw a football until the day before a Super Bowl? Do you think Kobe Bryant sat on the sideline and waited until he got in the game to throw a few hoops and practice his craft and perfect? No, that didn't happen. All of these individuals practiced before time. They perfected their gifting and their skills. Which brings me to us today. Do we practice as we should? Do we perfect our skill, or do we wait until the battle and say, you know what, I'll get it right then? I know summer's the best, and now I'll take my rest. But what if we took a few minutes to practice? Think about that today. Practice your craft so you'll be ready for the